Hello, my name is Valerie Parker and I'm working with Music for Galway, and we're here in the Black Box Theatre in Galway City, where we're hosting a workshop with percussionist Alex Petcu, who's delivering a workshop for secondary school students here. So we're delighted to have schools from Headford and from Athenry here this morning. And as part of our strategic plan, we are developing our outreach programme to have more people from the community engaging with music from Galway City and County. So we're really looking forward to a super fun and creative morning.
So, like, percussion instruments are kind of anything that you can hit to make sounds. So you see in there, there are probably things that you might not think are instruments.
I really enjoyed the workshop today, and I saw that the students got an awful lot out of it. They worked from, starting was a bit rocky in terms of basic things like pulse, trying to keep a pulse as an ensemble, and it was amazing the progress they made even in the time with a combined schools group. I really enjoyed Alex's performance on percussion. It's so great to see someone perform live and that the students could get up right close to him, and he said to kind of feel the vibrations of the instruments as well. It was a great experience for them to see how another school approaches the same task with the same brief and create something completely different to them. They really valued and they enjoyed the part of the performance where they were able to come up and conduct themselves and have their whole band of percussion players of found sounds and be able to do, the power, as Alex said, to change the dynamics and the structure and solos and ensemble and things. So yeah, overall it was an amazing performance, and thanks very much.
I will stop. Okay.
I learned that music can be made with a lot of different things, and also you don't have to have like a lot of money, or you don't have to be in the best position ever to be able to make music.
Today I learned that there's more than one way to make and write music. It's all about your own self-expression.
I think my favourite part was when everyone was making the different sounds, because I think it all, and with Alex playing as well, it really came together to form like a finished song with just, household objects and stuff like that.
My favourite part had to be when he was playing his music. It was very interesting to see how broken guitars can make such beautiful music.
I really liked the found sounds, and we could play and mess with all the different materials. You can use practically anything to make an instrument, and you can experiment and make your own music.
Well, I loved listening to him when he was playing music. It was very moving. My favourite would probably be the iron sheets with the bubble wrap or the tinfoil on it. It was very good and it sounded very like rainfall.
4, 3, 3, 4. So the thing is, the counting in your head has to happen. So you're not just watching me. Do you know what I mean? You kind of have to come with as well.
For a percussion workshop and composition workshop, I found it was really excellent for students learning in terms of, it's not your standard composition that they were dealing with today. Alex showed them all the different methods of how to create sound, how to create layers of sound and put them all together as a kind of an ensemble composition. It was very interesting to see all the different percussion instruments kind of live for students, so that was a great experience for them to encounter these different types of, your standard percussion instruments that you find in the orchestra, and then the other ones that he has put together himself. So I think they're really intrigued by that. Also the method of conducting, how he was able to bring all the students that were present here at the workshop, how they were able to create, different types of dynamics for a big kind of ensemble, how that comes together. So there was great learning in that, I think, for them as well. I think the Q&A at the end then, in terms of, the repertoire he plays and the different kind of compositions and scoring that he has to perform. So I think they found that really interesting as well, that it's not your standard, your treble clef lines and spaces and beat notation that, as he could describe it, was nearly like Morse code, that type of composition or type of scoring that he has to perform live. So yeah, very interesting. Great workshop.
Because it's way more pressure. When you're playing in a group, it's way more pressure knowing that if I make a mistake now, it's going to put off everybody. It's important that we kind of help them when somebody does something different, and we kind of hold our own a bit. As I said in the video, sometimes the actual texture and sound of things is kind of a little bit overlooked. So my name is Alex Petcu, and I'm a percussionist. So I play anything that you kind of hit to make noise, and that can include expensive instruments like xylophones and drums and these kind of things, but also it can be things that you might find on the ground or something that you might build yourself. So for this workshop, what I wanted to do was to get the kids to kind of hone in on a few different things that they might not normally focus on with music, because normally with music people really focus on the tune and how good of a sound they make, but sometimes making quote-unquote bad sounds is also good, or sounds aren't good or bad, they're just sounds, and sounds can be used in different contexts. Like in a movie, you might you'd have sound effects, and even in theatre you could have sound effects, and that was one aspect, and the other aspect was to focus on the pulse, the timing, because when you have rhythm, the rhythm, for it to sound good and for a band to play together, they have to hold a beat that holds the rhythm together. So the beat is kind of the glue that holds everybody together, and people often forget about that. They try to focus on making this beautiful sound, but actually, if that sound isn't in time, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? So having to be in time is the most important thing, really. So we focused on timing and counting, and then also on texture and timbre in music making. So we used found objects. So we used different grades of paper and tin foil and things like that to make sounds. They also had a task in class or at home to create a soundscape as a class, where they could pick what they wanted to do, and we had a few pointers, but they could use instruments or they could use whatever they wanted, and they could divide the class up into, okay, 4 of you do the wind, the rest of you do the sea, you do this, and then so they could do different roles and tell a short story with sound.